Hi, my name is Thomas and you're watching Casual DIY channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the floor I've got in my workshop. It's been over a year I had it in, so it's time to summarize of how it performs and maybe it will be suitable product for you. Now, the particular tiles I've got are from a company called Fort Lock, and my tiles are 6.7 millimeters in thickness and are more or less about 50 by 50 centimeters large. Now, the flexibility of these tiles, it's there, but it's not too massive. As I said, 6.7 millimeters is actually quite thick. And if you were to choose tiles like these, I would definitely go for the thicker versions of them, depending on what you actually need for your workshop. So first of all, let's actually answer your question. Is this floor any good after 1 year? And I have to say, it's been absolutely fine. There's no issues with it. Now, this floor is definitely not the cheapest you can get. However, I think it's still cheaper than if you wanted to do epoxy flooring. Now, it costed me, this workshop is 21 square meters, so it costed me 500 British pounds to actually buy the whole set, or $609 if you're in the USA. Now, I had two main reasons I wanted this particular type of flooring in my workshop. First of all, insulation. Okay, so I've got concrete flooring underneath the tiles, and concrete gets quite cold during the winter. And I have to say, I can sit on these tiles and they're not super cold. They're not warm, but they're not cold, if you know what I mean. Now, the second thing is about when you're standing on concrete, quite often you get your pains in your joints, in your shoulders and everything like that. That's what I had when I was working in a workshop with a concrete floor. And in this case, it's definitely helping with that. I don't get fatigue. My joints, my knees and my shoulders are fine. So it actually proves that they work in that aspect as well, which for me, it's very important. And just for those two reasons, it was definitely worth investing that money in this type of flooring. Now, these tiles are made for environments like garages, workshops, warehouses. So they are fairly rigid and they should last a long time, especially when they actually come with 12-year warranty. One of the things that I really liked about these tiles is the fact they are super easy to put together and you can lay it yourself, the whole floor, in no time at all. The tiles interlock with each other, creating a very stable base. Now, you can glue this floor in to your concrete base. However, I don't recommend that for a very simple reason. From underneath, they're actually made in a way that the air circulation is allowed between the tile and the concrete floor. Also, if you got any moisture trapped between the tiles and the concrete floor itself, they are designed in a way to release that moisture so you won't have any issues. So from that perspective, I don't actually recommend gluing this floor in. And that's exactly what I did. The floor I've got is a floating floor. It's not glued to the concrete base, and it not has moved an inch. Even with my car being pulled in and pulled out, no issues at all. They not came apart. As I laid them, that's how the tiles remained. As these tiles interlock with each other, they create one single surface, which is very heavy because each single tile weighs 1.7 kilograms. So there's no chance for this floor to move at all. Now, so far the floor has not come apart, even as I said, with the car being driven in here or my cars and heavy tools moved around. But how about if you wanted to replace a single tile because somehow it managed to get damaged? You can do that. Of course you can, as long as you don't glue the floor to your concrete floor. However, picking one from the middle would be very difficult, as the locks themselves are very strong. So you would have to take, in my opinion, a part of the flooring to actually get to it. Initially, I was worried about the gaps between the tiles. They look like gaps, but actually they're not going through the tiles itself, so you cannot see the concrete floor. I think it's just they are made on a slight angle, and they seem like there's gaps between them, but they're not really. As I said, they're not come apart. They're very stable, And as you can see, there's no dust in between them, and I do generate a lot of dust. Let me just very quickly show you the dust test so you can more or less have a look right on the joint here. Okay, I'm gonna rub it in, and let's see how easy it is to actually pick it up with a brush. So as you can see, it did a decent job. However, there's still a lot left, especially in the seams just over here. Now, the type of flooring I've got is a skin type. Okay, so there's no big bumps and hoops on it. It's more or less flat. Let me just put that back here. We're going to use the shop vac so you can see how well it actually works. And as you can see, nothing left in between the seams, not a problem at all. And that's how my floor looks like after a year of usage. I've not washed the floor itself, it just is what it is. Obviously it's a little bit dirty. If I use a mop on it and clean it up, it probably would look just like new. However, there's usually a bigger mess around my workshop where it comes to dust, just like that. Hopefully that's big enough, and I'm going to show you how I clean it up. And there you go, nice and clean, no issues at all, nothing in between the seams, really good. Now unfortunately I won't be able to tell you how this floor performs in freezing temperatures, as in this workshop, although I do not have any heating in here, it will never go below 10 degrees Celsius. However, my strong belief is that it won't be that much different from a normal temperature. The other temperatures that you will have to look out for is a scorching heat, okay? So if you're doing a lot of welding, anything like that, this floor may not be perfect for you. So I'm gonna do a flame test for you so you can see what is actually happening with the floor when you know, the element of fire is directed at it. So as you can see, it's not actually burning or anything like that, which is also good, preventing any accidents. However, I would definitely not leave this out on a direct sunlight where, you know, it's, I don't know, 35 degrees Celsius outside. If you hold it long enough, it will basically melt. As you can see, it will melt, however, it will not catch fire. And that's quite an important safety feature, I think. One thing to note when you're going to be installing this floor is the fact that the floor itself has to be fairly stable and free of ups and downs in it. So if you've got any voids, you really should fill them up. Now, if you're worried about spillages when it comes to this flooring, I actually do have a separate video with a lot of possibilities of what you can spill on your floor in your workshop. So I'm gonna drop a link to that video down below in the description, so you can go and have a look how this floor actually performs with spillages. And I have to say, it's actually quite decent. There is no major problems with that. But go and have a look at that video when you finish this one. Now, one factor that is important to most of us is how these tiles will hold up against, well, for example, a hammer that will drop on them, or a chisel. Now, from my experience in the past year, I have to say your chisels are safe now, because if you drop them, they're not going to break. They will be absolutely fine. Talking from experience. But have a look how this floor will perform if I use some brute force on it. Nothing at all. No dips, no holes, no nothing. Let's try something a little bit sharper. Although, as you can tell, this is, you know, my do-it-all chisel. And in this case, if you drop something really hard on it, it will create some cuts in it. I hope you can see that. Let's try it from up high. No marks at all. Now this floor, these tiles also come with an option to buy edges for those. So for example, when you've got the entrance to your workshop or to your garage, it slopes down so it keeps the water away from your workshop flowing in, but also it will help getting your car inside or move your shop carts outside if you've got a need like that, which to be fair, I did a few times. Now, all in all, I really recommend this solution, the PVC tiles you can get for your workshop. It's definitely not cheap, but it has its own benefits. Now, I am by all means not sponsored by this company. I've bought the tiles myself for my own money, and I've got no affiliated links with them. If you are interested to check the floor I've got, I'm not sure if they will be able to post it to your home country. I will leave links to my particular floor. However, you can get it on Amazon. I'm going to try to find a few links for you for the UK and the US, something that's very, very similar to this, but also try to have a look at your own local market. As I say, in my experience, the thicker the better. I've got 6.7 millimeters and it is really doing a great job on insulating the workshop, and it's a godsend for my joints, my knees and my shoulders. It's absolutely fantastic in that respect. So after a year of usage of this floor, I have to say it was definitely a worth investment and the best one yet in my workshop. If you like workshop projects or any other projects, I actually do have a large library of videos that you may be interested in. I've got some cool playlists just over here. Go and have a look, click those, maybe something will pique your interest. So I'll see you on those videos there. Take care.